Hi there, in this video we'll be looking at aircraft winglets. These are the funny looking devices seen at the end of aeroplane wings, such as the A350 seen above. We'll be having a look at what winglets are, how they came to be, and why they are fitted to aircrafts. Aircraft winglets are all fitted to aircraft to combat the same issue. However, they come in different shapes and sizes, as well as designs. So first we have the blended winglet, which is featured on the A320neo or 737-800 series. Next is the canted winglet. This is seen on the A340 aircraft or 747-400s. Next is a rake wingtip. This is featured on the new 787 Dreamliners. However, it was also seen on the classic 767 aircraft. Next is a split tip winglet, otherwise known as a scimitar. These are featured on the new 737 MAX aircraft. And then we have a wingtip fence. This is seen on the classic A320 aircraft, as well as on the A380 aircrafts. Well, alright, now that we have an understanding of what the different winglets look like on different aircrafts, let's actually do a deep dive into where they came from and what they're for. The development of aircraft winglets began in 1973 due to an oil crisis that hit the United States because of their support of Israel. The Arab states had placed an embargo on the United States for the support of Israel during the Yom Kippur War. This led to fuel prices to skyrocket in the United States, which meant that aircraft manufacturers began looking at ways to make their aircraft more fuel efficient. This led to Boeing to turn to NASA, and in a partnership with Richard T. Whitcomb, began to look at the development of winglets. Whitcomb was studying the aerodynamics of birds' wings during flight. While studying the eagle, he noticed that during a soar, the feathers on the tips of the wings would curve upwards. This is what led to his inspiration for the winglet design. So the reason we have winglets is to minimize the effect of wingtip vortices. These are like mini tornadoes that come off the tips of aircraft wings. So when we create lift, we have a high pressure below the wing and a low pressure above the wing. Now, fluids have a tendency to flow from high to low pressure regions. So the high pressure bleeds into the low pressure, which creates these vortices that spill behind the aircraft, which come from the tips of the wings. So because of this, we get a thing called induced drag, which is a byproduct of lift. We want to minimize the induced drag created by an aircraft as much as possible, because this will increase the total drag of an aircraft, which will make the aircraft less fuel efficient and less aerodynamically efficient. There's also a safety hazard created by these wingtip vortices, which is known as wake turbulence. If another aircraft were to fly into this wake turbulence, especially a smaller aircraft, it could be faced with severe turbulence and even face severe damage to the airframe of that aircraft. We can calculate the induced drag coefficient by squaring the lift coefficient, then dividing that by pi, timesing it by the aspect ratio, and then timesing it by the efficiency factor of E. As mentioned before, the introduction of winglets has allowed for more fuel-efficient aircraft, in turn increasing the range of the aircrafts. According to Boeing, the normal sharklet seen on their 737-800, for example, if flown for 500 nautical miles, would see about a 1% increase in efficiency, and if flown for 3,000 nautical miles, would see around 3.5 to 4.5% increased efficiency. Now, the introduction of the 737 MAX, which features the split scimitar winglet, they claim that this will add a 1.5% increase of efficiency on top of the original sharklets. This also could be visualized as an extra 65 nautical miles of range. And if you think to 20 years ago, you didn't see any single-seat aisle aircraft flying transatlantic between America and Europe. Now, with this increased range and efficiency, we're seeing airlines use this as a viable option. Lastly, because winglets have reduced the amount of induced drag created by aircraft, it means that now aircraft can take off at a lower throttle setting, meaning they require less thrust. This in turn results in less noise and pollution being emitted. It also means that maintenance periods on the aircraft, especially the engines, is extended due to the reduced wear of the aircraft. And that's the basics of winglets. Thank you for watching.